Welcome to It's All Fine and Danjee, where we talk about community, health, culture, and all of the big and little things that make life good. Here are your hosts, Dan and Angie.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 84 of the It's All Fine and Danjee podcast. We are so happy that you're able to tune in, take a listen, and see who our guest is this week. So we have had representatives from this place on the show for our very first interview.
That's true.
We did.
That's right. It wasn't our very first podcast, but it was our very first interview.
Episode number two. Number two.
Our first episode was sort of just getting to know us. I think it was like 15 minutes long. It was super quick.
Yeah, that was our practice.
But it's really cool to come back around and
I know. Again. And so tonight we have Betsy Hughes. She is the co-owner of TrackShack in Orlando.
Yes.
And she is here to chat about this year's IOA corporate 5K. Things are going to be done a little differently this year, but it is still on. So welcome, Betsy. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. This is so exciting.
I know it's always exciting to have repeat guests on or for, the cause. We haven't had you on, but you're here tonight. So we are super excited to hear what you've been up to.
Yes. And I thought you were going to say the 5K is so exciting, which that's also very exciting.
Oh, yes, of course it is.
and I will get into this, but I am really curious to find out about this virtual event because it's really neat.
So we will get right into it. But as always, we like to get to know our guest a little bit first, Betsy. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, let's see. My husband, John, and I have owned TrackShack for almost 40 years.
Wow.
We are one of the oldest running and walking specialty stores in the United States. But also we put on a lot of events. And of course, this year has been a little bit different. Our store and all our events went kaput for 7 weeks. Our store was closed, and then
oh my goodness,
throughout the summer we were trying to figure out how we can put on events. How do we keep people still excited about running and walking? And so we have sort of developed a whole virtual 5K all the way up to a marathon idea to help people keep exercising. It's been exciting, but it's also been super trying. And
I bet.
Yeah. So, but we're super excited because the IOA Corporate 5K is coming up next month, and it's our biggest virtual event yet. And we just have lots to offer all our runners. We're super excited.
Awesome. So I know you guys support a lot of events throughout the year, as you mentioned. I'm curious kind of how you first got into that to begin with. How did you guys get into hosting these events? Because I'm glad you said what TrackShack is. We hope that everybody knows.
I'm sure they do if they live here.
I'm sure they do too. But you guys are a store, and to sort of branch from that to actually being out hosting events for the public. I'd love to know how you got interested in that and kind of how it grew from its sort of initial concept, because this 5K is a huge thing.
Oh, it certainly is. So in the 70s, when John and I started running, there weren't a lot of runners out there. And little by little, the whole running industry grew. TrackShack started to grow in the early 80s. We started putting on more and more events. Women got involved in events. Charities got involved in events. And thankfully, that grew our business little by little. But 25 years ago, actually 26 this year, we started the corporate 5K. And I think you're wearing the shirt.
I am. You can't really see it here behind the label.
Awesome.
That's last year's.
I earned the shirt. Yes.
That's awesome. So last year, for our 25th, we had 18,000 runners and walkers downtown Orlando celebrating corporate fitness, running or walking a 5K. It was amazing.
It was so cool. Yes.
I'm so glad you loved it. We love it. And we knew this year, even though we were unable to produce the event in person, we had to do something to make it worthwhile for our whole community and really our beneficiaries. Without events like any 5K, any marathon, corporate beneficiaries don't make any money.
Yeah.
So we had to do something. And so We have an amazing team at TrackShack. Our event staff worked all summer long trying to figure out how to create virtual events. Of course.
So they really had to put their thinking caps on for this, because this is out of the norm for you guys, because you do everything. Runners run together.
Right.
So you know what I mean? So
we not only put our thinking caps on, we put our masks on.
Yes.
So
I see that's got some print on it. I wonder what that's for.
Well, this is our IOA corporate 5K mask that every participant in our virtual 5K will receive along with their shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and very nice.
They'll also be, that might be John in the background making a lot of noise.
Oh, that's quite all right.
Hey, John.
Maybe he can come running by in the background.
Do I need to tell him to turn that off? Can you all hear it?
Do you think it will pick it up?
That's really loud, John.
I don't hear it, honestly, but it might, because I do some audio editing afterwards.
Yeah.
It might turn itself up.
Okay.
But they're wondering, John, if you'll run by in the background.
That would be amazing. He's probably in his PJs now.
Yes, he's going to run by.
He's going to run back and turn that down.
Yep. He's training for the IOA corporate 5K.
There he goes. Oh, that's fantastic.
That was great. I love it.
So I want to rewind a bit, because we will definitely get into the event and we'll talk about what the virtual thing is. But you said, when you guys got started back in the 70s, there weren't really that many runners.
Right.
Was that I'm assuming that was a shared passion that you guys had, was just running for fitness?
It was. That's how we met. That's how we fell in love and got married. And when TrackShack started to get just a teeny bit busy, we realized, we need a little bit more business. Mm-hmm. So we started to put some events on. And those events, of course, helped the community here in Orlando get a little more interested in running.
Yep.
But luckily, the entire world was starting to recognize that running was truly an exercise and an event that they could get behind and really enjoy.
Yeah. And the 80s were really, I think, when fitness started kind of coming to the forefront. And you had every kind of fitness.
Jazzercise.
There was no reason not to exercise, because you had every single type out there that you could do.
Absolutely.
So when the events first started, I'm just curious, did those start as like small groups? Like, was it like jogging clubs and stuff like that? And then it kind of grew from there? Or did you actually have people approach you and say, hey, we're interested in doing this corporate wellness thing or some kind of organized event like that?
Well, we actually had to put our own two heads together and figure out how are we going to make this running business work.
Okay.
So we actually went out to sponsors to try to figure out how we could make some money, but also how we could encourage the community to run events, to help sponsor events so that our beneficiaries could make some money as well. So right from the get-go, it was all about charities and just getting people involved. And of course, people loving to run meant people needed shoes. So it was a win-win.
Yeah, it's a great tie-in.
Yeah. Now let's talk about some of those charities. So have the charities do you choose different charities throughout the year, or is it pretty much the same foundations or nonprofits that you work with?
Such a great question. In 1994, when we were really putting on a lot of our own events, we realized we needed a beneficiary because we were wanting to give all our money back, or so much of our money back, locally. So we started the TrackShack Youth Foundation. And 1994 that started, and now we have an entirely great group of folks in our community that sit on our board. And a lot of the monies that we raise from our own events go to the foundation. But we also have other events that we produce throughout the year, including the turkey trot on Thanksgiving. And those funds go to Seniors First. So
I love
a lot of times it depends on who we're producing the event for, where the beneficiaries go. But the TrackShack Youth Foundation is one of our big ones.
This is coming back to me. I remember that from when we talked to Natalie about this a year ago. Well, that's great.
So can you tell everybody a little bit more about what the TrackShack Youth Foundation does?
Sure. So we started it, John and I, and actually Natalie and Tom, who has worked for us for 34 years, as well as Natalie. We started that in 94. It is not easy to start a foundation. It takes a ton of work.
So we've heard, yes.
Yeah. It takes accountants and lawyers and, all those smart people. But since then, we have been able to give back to our community about $2.5 million.
Wow,
my
Betsy,
goodness.
that's amazing.
Well, and because we are the owners of the company that produces the events, we can't sit on the board to choose where those monies go. So we have an amazing board of directors who sit on our foundation, and they are able to go through all those folks that request funds and give back to our community. It's been great. This year was tough. It definitely has been tough, but we're still working on it.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys have done a good job of pivoting. We're going to get into that in a minute too.
Yes.
But I think that's been a big challenge for any local businesses is how do you stay alive through this, this whole change and not being able to get close to each other.
Yeah, it's been tough.
So this event normally takes place earlier in the year, right?
Yep, it sure does. It takes place in April on a Thursday night, right before tax season.
Yeah.
It's truly a party for our corporate community.
Yeah.
And this year we realized we had to postpone it. So we thought, okay, let's work with the city of Orlando, find another date so we can postpone it. They gave us the date of October 1st. Well, the pandemic really hasn't come to an end yet.
No.
So that didn't work. And we thought, okay, these folks really want to get together. They want to run. They want to have that community. And we're like, okay, we're doing it virtual. Let's go for it.
Good for you. Yeah, you just can't keep sliding it. And we've been involved with some other events that have tried, like the Popka Art and Foliage Festival. We were going to be there. They slid it. They slid it again, and then they had to cancel it. So it's really cool to hear that you guys didn't have to cancel it or keep sliding it until it's up against the next one already. So So tell us what is the virtual event and how does it work?
So it's a little bit different, but it's working for a lot of our different events that we've done this fall. It's basically running either on your own, from your home, your neighborhood, from a park, maybe a small group of people that are in your pod.
I like how you said that, in your pod. Yeah.
So you register for the event, and we have all these different options for people. We send them, or they pick up at TrackShack, their race number, their shirt, perhaps a medal. In the IOA Corporate 5K, we give everyone a mask. And then they either run with their small little group or run on their own, but they can use an app that we have had created called RTRT. And it's a GPS type app, which shows you the map of the course or the map that you're running actually.
Cool.
And it gives you the opportunity to give us your results.
Oh, how cool is that? So it's the same thing. It's still how long it took you to run the 5K or walk it or whatever.
Because it's in real time, correct?
It is.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so it's been working really well for the first few races in our TrackShack running series. People have really enjoyed it. And it's going to be hopefully amazing for our IOA Corporate 5K. And we're giving our runners almost an entire week to do that event. They don't have to just do it on one particular day.
So, I wonder if this will be something that maybe turns into, of course, we still want to get together in downtown Orlando, but sometimes there's people that can't do that on a Thursday night or something. So
maybe you're traveling for business or something.
Yeah. So maybe this is something that can allow people to still be involved in the future events.
Absolutely.
By using this. Yeah.
And we've already seen that happen in the races that we've done previously. We have had people post pictures from all over the world. I'm not kidding, literally.
That is cool.
I did this TrackShack event. Here's my medal. Here's my shirt. And they're in this foreign country.
Oh, how cool is that?
It is amazing.
What a blessing in disguise.
I know it. It really is. And then for the IOA Corporate 5K, we have participants from 9 different states. So instead of just doing it locally this year, these corporations have reached out to folks that work with their corporations in other states. So it's awesome.
Yeah, I read that. I read that on the IOA 5K website that
Right.
you could actually invite your out-of-state coworkers. And I thought, wow, that's really how you bring a company together too.
Absolutely.
Is whoa,
Sorry, I need
I'm
my
dropping
pencil.
stuff.
I've
So-
already dropped a few things.
So I'm interested, like leading up to this, of course, you had those companies in Orlando and Central Florida that were probably revving up for it, right? They were excited for it. And then, everything happened and, we have some challenges. So how have they still been participating? Like, are they still encouraging their employees to do things from home? Because a lot of them maybe weren't in the office for a while. Like, how are they still getting that like competitive spirit that they have usually in the office sometime? What do you see happening?
You are so on top of this. You are just like, it's like we're at a meeting at work.
Yeah.
Exactly spot on. So we actually have some corporations that are able to work together with their groups and do the event together. They're smaller companies, and it's great. It's working out for them. For others, they're spread out everywhere. They're working from home.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
so
that's us.
they may do the event on their own or with a small group of friends, maybe some neighbors. It is different. It is very different. But because of our app on the phones that you'll carry while you run, it brings you together and you feel like you're participating in the actual event.
Yes, I could see that. So I agree with you, Andy. The synergy sometimes of the being there together,
That buzz. Yeah. It's that buzz. Yeah.
and the competition and all that kind of stuff. But and maybe it's because I'm also IT oriented,
Yeah.
but to me, the idea of using this well beyond the virus, I was just thinking if I'm on a business trip or something and I can't go, I can still do it.
I
And I can still do
know.
it with you, sort of.
Yeah.
So how
Yeah,
cool would that be?
I think in the future of our road racing business and our whole industry, virtual running will take a major part. It really will, because you're exactly right. In the past, if you were out of town, I can't do the race.
You
I'm
just
so
skipped
sorry.
it. Yeah.
But now
Yeah.
you can.
I know. I think that that's really going to do well for you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, and for all of those who, you feel kind of, left out if you weren't able to take part in it. So I
Right.
think that's really great. And the use of technology too.
Right.
And you said
exactly.
you're not techie, but now you're learning this new technology and you're talking about it. I mean, that's pretty cool.
I'm trying so hard, but it's not easy.
Oh, so I have a techie question for you.
Okay, awesome.
Can you download the app on your iWatch?
On your
What's it
Apple
called?
Watch?
Apple Watch.
You probably can't. You probably
Yeah.
can't use the Apple Watch. You need to use your smartphone.
Okay.
But
And anyone that registers will get an email that will help them download it very easily.
yeah. So I will put a link in the show notes to the app. And if it doesn't work on the watch yet, I'm sure it will, because almost all these GPS apps eventually work with the watch. But what's still cool about it though, Angie, is if you are an Apple Watch user, the GPS tracking it on your phone will then sync from your phone. So you can
Sure.
still look at your stats once you're done.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And the health
exactly.
app.
And those stats will download to our event page so that if you are participating with a team, your score will count, because we're actually
Okay.
doing awards with this
Yeah.
event.
That was my next question. I was going to ask, how are we creating that fun, atmosphere still? Because you used to do awards and you did
Yep.
like the team shirts where people would
we're
design the
still doing all
shirts.
that.
Oh, you're still doing all that.
We are still doing the Team Spirit Award. We're doing the
Oh,
Best
great.
Shirt Award. We can't really do the overall winner award, but we
Yeah.
absolutely are going to have 18 categories for our different corporations.
Mm-hmm.
And so first place in each category, that team will, as long as they use the app, will receive the first place plaque, and then the team members will receive an award. Yeah, we're going for it. We're gonna.
Great.
It's just gonna exist.
It's here. It's here. So tell us a little bit more about when the event's taking place, what time, all that jazz, so people can kind of know as they're listening.
Yeah, absolutely. So registration is going on right now. at corporate5k.com or trackshack.com.
Okay.
And then we're going to have number, or we call it packet pickup at TrackShack from November 4th through November 12th.
Okay.
And then you have the opportunity to do the 5K between November 12th and November 15th. And so the app will work all those days.
So that's 4 days for people to be able. That's
Yeah.
my birthday weekend.
I know. We have to do this.
We have to
what
do
day
it.
is your birthday?
My birthday is November 11th, which is Wednesday.
Oh my gosh, our daughter's is November 12th.
Look at that. November babies.
That's
Yes.
right.
So I think somebody has something planned. So maybe it'll be
yes.
out in nature.
It
and
will be. We're going camping. You know that.
Oh, I know
much.
we're going
that's
camping.
cool.
But I don't know where or anything. So that's a little surprise. So this would be perfect. This
Yeah,
would
I
be,
know.
We need to sign up and go get our shirts and sport
Surprises
it and
are
support
great.
it.
I can't wait to do it. And I'm enthralled here to go get the app. So I'm frantically looking to
He's
get it and start downloading it. But
You won't get the email just yet, but you will get the email. It's easy to download.
as soon as you register.
I do also want to tell you that one of our beneficiaries is Second Harvest Food Bank.
Oh, how
wonderful.
awesome is that?
It's awesome. And between now and backtrack to April, we have already raised 85,000 meals for Second Harvest Food Bank.
Wow.
And that's just because people are registering for the event and giving us these extra donations. It's been amazing.
Yeah, because
Wow.
normally you do like a canned food drive as well, right? At the
Exactly.
event. So that hasn't happened. So you you see a compensation with people maybe donating a little bit more monetarily.
Exactly.
Oh, that's amazing.
Isn't that great?
Isn't it? I really feel like that what has happened this year has caused people, even if they're struggling, to dig a little deeper in their pockets or give something up so
Yeah.
that they can give to others. I mean, this is what I have witnessed anyway. And
Yeah.
I know I've done it myself because I know that I see people that you know they're struggling and you want to just be like, well,
Absolutely.
I'll skip my buying lunch out today and here's my $5 that I had for that.
Yeah, I agree. And I think to me, it's largely because we took advantage kind of what our day-to-day life was like before this.
Mm.
And when you think about how much we're struggling, those of us that have been fortunate enough to still be working through this, it makes me think of those that are less fortunate, that were already less fortunate, and how much scarier the whole thing probably was for them when this whole thing started.
Yeah.
Even if you had a job and you're doing well and you have a savings account and you have retirement, many of us still got concerned and are concerned still. But if you're already in a place where, you really need some help, I agree with you, Angie. I think maybe for me, that's what's driven me to want to help more now, because I feel like if I were in that situation, it would be even scarier now.
Yeah.
No, you're totally right. Yeah, we're really very, very excited that we are able to have those meals donated to Second Harvest Food Bank.
That's just amazing. So your beneficiaries this year is the TrackShack Youth Foundation,
Right.
and Second Harvest Food
Second
Bank.
Harvest Food Bank. Yeah.
Awesome. And you have some pretty great sponsors too. I mean, you guys
we
have some big
absolutely
sponsors.
do.
That is
For sure.
great. So I think
Yeah.
Publix is there every year sponsoring
Publix,
you.
IOA. I mean, it's amazing because I think sometimes runners and walkers don't even understand what it costs to produce an event. And without these sponsors, we would not have the funds for these beneficiaries. And they just mean the world to us. So we're so happy that we were able to do this event virtually and just make it happen for our whole community.
I mean, it sounds like you've had a really good response to this thing virtually. Is that kind of what you've seen?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have we're hoping 7,000, but right now we have over 6,000 people that have committed to do this virtually.
Wow.
Wow. And we still have almost
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Think about your birthday.
Well, there's 2 more right here.
There you
So
go.
there we go. Oh my gosh. And so your beneficiaries, they were on board, or not beneficiaries, your sponsors, they were
They've been
on board.
great.
That is awesome.
Yeah, our sponsors have been awesome for sure.
I love to hear
Wow.
that. So the staff is all jazzed up. Everybody's like, yeah. And you've done already, it sounds like you've already done a couple virtual events, correct?
Yep. We
good.
started with our July 4th event, and that
Okay.
was amazing. So our daughter, who has our 3-year-old granddaughter, calls and says, Mom, we're doing the virtual 5K. They live out of town, but there's no kids run virtual. And I'm like, oh my God, we've got to add that. We had 85 kids want to do the virtual kids
gosh.
run.
Oh,
Thanks to
wow.
our daughter. So we're always adding that for all our events now. The corporate 5K is more of an adult themed event. So we don't have a kids run, but we do have several events coming up in the next few months. And, we encourage everybody to participate.
Yeah.
It's even though it's not a kid event. We brought my daughter. There's kids out there. They still have fun with it.
Oh, they do.
It's kid friendly.
Sure.
It definitely is. But people are definitely there to kind of let loose a little bit after the run, have some pizza, have some beer,
Yeah.
whatever.
Cut loose if you want. But we did see Darth Vader last time.
We did see
He was
Darth
running
Vader
with us.
Yes.
So you will see
in the race.
Yes.
Darth Vader was there, and then
full costume running.
Also, which was very impressive to me, is there were the firefighters that had the full
all the gear on. Yes,
they are amazing.
Aren't
Every
they?
year we have the firefighters. How they run with those tanks, I just don't know. But
they passed us. Yeah, they passed us. That's how. They were cooking.
I will say,
they passed you when you admit that.
Yeah, we did want to run, but I was having the hip problems.
Yeah, she's had hip surgery since then.
Yeah,
so.
Which I just, was ignoring it. And
you know what though?
I just thought, oh my gosh, I walked the 5K last year and I had my hip. I had a really bad labral tear in my hip. And you know what a labral tear is as a runner. And
it was her surgeon said it's the worst one he's ever seen. And she still did it.
and look, Betsy, I'm not like a regular runner or anything. I'm athletic, and we bike and we kayak and I flip and jump and whatever, but when he said that, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what could I have done? Like,
wow.
It's I think it could just be genetics.
That was this last year?
I had that done this March.
Oh my gosh. Did you have some physical therapy?
Oh yeah. I had a ton before and after as well, 8 weeks.
So smart.
Yeah.
So smart to have it ahead of time as well.
Yeah. It was really painful though. It was really painful. So I was like, oh, okay. I think I just want the surgery because this is really painful.
Yeah.
Getting in a car is painful with that.
Oh yeah. It was bad, but I have 5 anchors and some sutures now. So
gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, superwoman.
Why didn't you just give me a new hip?
So I don't have any.
Why didn't I just get a new hip?
So that was my excuse last year for walking. I don't have an excuse this year.
No.
And I was just going to say, either I accidentally put on your IOA 5K shirt, or I definitely need to run the 5K this year because I will tell you this quarantine life is affecting a lot of us. And I think it's good for us. This is another reminder to exercise. So you guys are regular runners. I'm not a regular runner, but it reminds me, let's get out and get some real exercise again.
And look, for the people who are at home, you're your own little corporation at home. Your family is your own little corporation. So jump on the website, either TrackShack or IOA. We'll put the links.
Yeah, we'll put all the links to the app, to how you can register, all that on the show.
And jump on and get your little family corporation signed up. Right?
I mean,
we want as many people involved with this as possible so we can have that bring that spirit, that we normally have of so many people buzzing around downtown with it. Bring it to that virtual virtual sense, whatever I'm trying to say.
It's running or walking. We encourage both.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, it was really fun to walk. I'm joking about, the excuses, but, we walked it. And at first I thought, we're going to be left behind. But there's a segment that takes off. There's a segment that kind of runs in the middle. There's a segment that walks. And I really look forward to getting back out there with everybody and doing that. But in the meantime, I think this is a great way for us to be able to participate still.
Yeah. And I think I had, I told Natalie a few years, I think it was the year before last, when I was at an event, I was there with the RDV, and it was the first time I was ever at the 5K. And when the walkers started walking, that sounds like a Walking Dead reference, but it's not. I was like recording it, and it was like over 30 minutes or something just for the people who were walking
Just
to
pouring
go.
in, yeah.
I was like blown away.
Yeah.
That was
Well, that's
pretty amazing.
18,000 people is a lot of
It's
people.
a lot of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was part of it, the spectacle. I mean, we would look in front of us and behind us, and it was just, I couldn't stop
Everywhere.
taking pictures, like a sea of people
And
in both directions.
you know what else I love is that the community down there, you got people outside in their on their lawn with their chairs and their coolers, and they're not running, but they're waving little flags and cheering you on and clapping for you. That was like so fun. It was just really, and even Rachel enjoyed it too, Dan's daughter. It was really cool.
It was great.
Well, this year when you're doing it with your app, you're just going to envision all those people waving those flags.
That's right.
Cheering for you because, they're out there virtually.
Yeah,
sure.
They're there.
I think it'll be very fun. It'll be different. It'll be fun. It'll be a way to do it. And again, I think knowing that that's an option, if we want to commit to it, we can, regardless of what's going on in the future.
Exactly.
So it's a backup plan.
I love it. All right. One more time, Betsy. I almost called you Natalie because I was just talking about her.
That's okay. We're dear friends.
Well, I figure if you work together for that many years, people probably call you each other's names all the time.
That's right. All the time.
Yeah. But where do people go if they're listening right now on the podcast and they're ready to sign up? Where's the easiest spot for them to sign up?
TrackShack.com or corporate5k.com. Either one will take you directly to our link.
All right. And it gives you all the details in there, guys, for everything that you need to do. And like you said as well, if they don't want to venture down to TrackShack to get their shirt and their number and their mask, you can have that sent to them as well, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Well, I am taking all these notes. I will put all the link in the show notes like normal. If you're new to the show, if you're listening to this on your podcast player, just scroll down. There'll be a link in the show notes where you can click and register right away. If you're watching on YouTube, underneath this video, there'll be a link where you can just click and sign right up.
I like how you do that because you're recording this, right?
Of course.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
That's awesome.
Should have washed my hair before it's all shiny.
Maybe put a virtual hat on you.
Yeah, something. I don't know.
There you go. You look great, guys.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening,
Yes,
Betsy.
thank you, Betsy.
And
this is fun.
Yeah, we look forward to this, and we look forward to supporting you from here on out.
Yes, and we'll plug the event every episode leading up to the actual event, and we're going to do it. So it'll be fun.
I look forward to seeing you.
All right. I look forward to seeing you too virtually. So thank you again for joining us tonight. This has been fun.
Thank you so much,
we look
guys.
forward to
This
it.
was a blast.
All right. Tell John we said goodbye and that was a great run in the background.
Yes. And he can turn the music back up now.
Bye, Betsy. Have a great night.
Bye. Have a good night.
Bye. Have a good night. Welcome back, and thank you for joining us for that interview with Betsy Hughes from TrackShack Orlando. That was really cool, and it's neat that they're doing that virtual thing.
Oh, I think it's really great and really smart. I think it will actually increase the participants in the future.
I do too. I mean, because there's times I haven't been around. We first started talking about this a while back before we interviewed them, and I think in a way it's almost an excuse because it is. If you want to run it, it's some work.
Yeah.
But it'll be nice to be able to do it. It'd be nice to be able to compete with each other, even if we're not together, too.
Yeah, it really would. So I'm excited to see what this brings for their future. Definitely.
Me too.
And, their numbers may not be as high this year because people are getting used to it.
Oh, we're going to do our best to drive those numbers up. So let's just see what happens.
But I also really I'm thinking further out that they'll probably see an increase because they've added this. So,
yes. Indeed.
Yeah, TrackShack. It's going to be great.
It is going to be great. Also, we wanted to do some plugs. We don't do that very often. We'll throw a few of them out here. Angie, you mentioned about Christmas shopping coming up.
Well, it is November. And once we hit November, not you people who get your shopping done in July. Okay, whatever. Okay. Good for you. Whatever. But in November is kind of when people start gearing up. Black Friday's coming around. People start doing their Christmas shopping. We want to encourage you to shop local. Shop local, shop, places like farmers markets for people who do crafts or local artists. I mean, geez, just to name a few off of some of the people that have been on one of our 84 episodes. If you're looking for some local art, maybe Josh Bauer Art, and we'll put all these links in the on the website and everything
too.
There'll be
a slew of them. And you were also talking about farmers markets. What about Vixen soaps? We just had them on.
Just had Vixen's handmade soaps on. The soaps smell great. They work great. Let's see if you want, some local fashion. Win Styles Boutique. So that's right here in Apopka.
Yeah, it is. That's a very cool place. And that was a very cool interview too.
Yes, it was.
What about health? If you want to give the gift of health, you can buy gift cards from TrackShack.
You sure can. If you have any runners or, walkers, or really anybody just needs a comfy shoe, TrackShack is your place to go. And they also have other gear there as well. So there you go.
You can give gym memberships too.
Gym memberships. So you could do Hit Fit Gym here in Apopka, and they have another location in Winter Garden. Or Burn Boot Camp we've had on. Camp Gladiator. So, we have options for you to support your local peeps, guys. And if you want some really yummy food.
If you're thinking about getting me a gift card, I want one to Tornatori's Italian Pizzeria and Italian restaurant. I always get the name mixed up. It's Tornatori's. I just want to call it Tornatori's Amazing Food.
If you listen to the episode though with Denny, he explains why.
Yes, he does explain why. I still can't keep it straight.
2 different names. So you have to go back and listen to that episode. We'll put a link in there for that as well.
I'll take one to Tornatori's and another one to Wekiva Island.
There you go. Wekiva Island. Great drinks, great entertainment. When everything kind of gets back normal, you can rent kayaks, canoes, paddle boards. A cabana. So what a great gift that would be.
Yeah, you can do that now and we've done it. You wear a mask as you're getting your kayak and getting in the water, and then you get away from everybody and take it off.
That's right. Or you can order a drink at the bar and go sit away from everybody. There you go.
Oh, that sounds fun.
But there's all sorts of places here local. What about a book? Want a good book to read?
If you want to stay home and stay away from people, or I guess people go out and read. I read mostly around the house. You could get a book from Steve Altier, the author of Lizardville Ghost Stories and a good friend of ours. What about Silly Yaya?
Oh, I love Silly Yaya.
I do too.
Yeah. So children's book writer and illustrator.
That's right.
She has a really good one though for Mother's Day for all you for a new mom. This would be a great book called Mommy. Guess what that's about? Mom. They act like if they call you different names, you're going to Mommy, like you're going to answer.
Yes.
It's not going to happen.
Also, Jamie Engel, who writes the Clifton Chase series books. That's another popular option for books.
Young adult or
young adult, sort of like adventure type books.
5th grade, maybe a little bit older.
M.G. Unger, science fiction. And last but certainly not least, Daniel Fox books. If you like thrillers.
That's guy.
If you like thrillers.
And hold on, for the crafters in the family.
Uh-oh.
My favorite thing. So if you have any card crafters, paper crafters in the family, that's a great place to get all your gadgets, people.
That's it. And now that we've plugged a bunch of our friends and restaurants and places that we feel are definitely valuable contributors to society and great places to help support, especially times like this, not just for helping them, but also for the quality of the stuff and the food and the service and everything you're going to get. We wouldn't be plugging them if we didn't honestly believe that. Anyway, guys, that wraps the show tonight. We thank you for joining us again, as usual. We want to remind you that if you like the show, please, on your favorite podcast app, give us a rating, give us a review if you can make time to do that, and subscribe if you want to hear more. But that rating really helps us all around.
That's right. And if you want to get a hold of us, send us an email at feedback@fineanddanjee.com, or you can leave us a voicemail at 407-490-3899. We want to hear from you. How about that?
You do that so smoothly.
Yeah, don't I? I have no notes. I have it all in my brain.
Uh-huh.
And guys, social media, you know who we are. Fine and Danjee. And remember, at the end of each and every day,
It's all fine and dandy. I'm putting a goofy laugh in right here. Hey guys, welcome back and thank you for joining us today.
it's very convenient for people in the future, like we talked about in an interview.
Starting over. I'm killing.